India visited Israel in a historic diplomatic moment. Now Somaliland's president has been invited next. At first glance, these events seem completely unrelated, but they may be part of a much larger strategic design, one that connects the Indian Ocean, the Red Sea, and the Horn of Africa. Why is Israel reaching out to both a global power like India and an emerging state like Somaliland? Stay with me, because what's unfolding could reshape the strategic map of the Red Sea faster than most analysts expect. Welcome to Horn Lens, where we analyze the geopolitics of Somaliland, the Red Sea, and global power shifts. Subscribe for fact-based strategic analysis and turn on notifications, because the next geopolitical shift may already be unfolding. To understand why Somaliland matters today, we have to start with India's historic visit to Israel. Just this week, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi concluded a landmark visit to Israel, reinforcing a partnership that's grown over the last decade. But while the world watched this alliance, another more surprising development was unfolding. Israel, just 2 months earlier, became the first country to formally recognize the Republic of Somaliland. These two events are not isolated. They're part of Israel's broader strategy to secure its interests in a volatile region. Why invest in both a rising superpower and a breakaway republic? The answer reveals a bold new vision for security, trade, and influence, stretching from the Mediterranean to the Indian Ocean. To understand Israel's decision, we must first understand Somaliland. Somaliland, in the Horn of Africa, has its own government, currency, and army, and has functioned as a democracy for over 30 years. Yet until now, no nation recognized it. After a brief independence in 1960, it merged with Somalia, but civil war and chaos led Somaliland to declare independence in 1991. Unlike Somalia, Somaliland has built a reputation for peace and democratic governance, holding multiple elections and maintaining security. Yet, the African Union and others have withheld recognition, fearing a precedent for secession elsewhere. Israel's recognition in December 2025 shattered this stalemate, offering Somaliland legitimacy and a potential path to international engagement. With a strategic coastline on the Gulf of Aden and the vital port of Berbera, Somaliland sits at a crossroads of global trade. Israel's move could unlock Somaliland's potential and reshape the Horn of Africa. While Somaliland's story was just breaking, Israel's partnership with India was being celebrated in Tel Aviv. Prime Minister Modi's visit underscored a relationship built on shared values, innovation, and security. Israel is a top arms supplier to India, with cooperation extending to joint R&D, intelligence sharing, and counter-terrorism. New agreements signal a shift from buyer-seller to true partners in defense and technology. Beyond military ties, Israeli expertise in water, agriculture, and cybersecurity is transforming Indian industries. This partnership gives Israel a powerful ally in the Indo-Pacific and the confidence to take calculated risks elsewhere. The India-Israel bond forms the backdrop for Israel's bold move in the Horn of Africa. Israel's recognition of Somaliland was a direct response to new threats in the Red Sea. Since late 2023, Houthi attacks from Yemen have threatened shipping lanes, crippling Israel's southern port of Eilat and exposing a critical vulnerability. Traditional naval patrols proved insufficient. Israel needed a local partner with strategic access. Somaliland's coastline faces Yemen, offering an ideal vantage point for monitoring and securing the Bab al-Mandab Strait. Quiet negotiations accelerated in 2025, leading to a deal. Israel offers recognition and aid in exchange for security cooperation and access. While Somaliland denies hosting a permanent Israeli base, intelligence sharing and access rights are expected. For Israel, it's a calculated trade, diplomatic recognition for a crucial security foothold. For Somaliland, it's a long-awaited step toward legitimacy and development. India and Somaliland seem worlds apart, one a global giant, the other a small, unrecognized state. Yet for Israel, they're complementary partners. India brings scale, legitimacy, and economic power, anchoring Israel's eastward strategy and providing diplomatic cover. Somaliland offers agility, risk-taking, and most importantly, strategic access to the Red Sea. By being first to recognize Somaliland, Israel gains influence and goodwill with a new ally. India is about long-term stability and global partnerships. Somaliland is about immediate tactical advantage. Together, they form a balanced portfolio. India provides depth, Somaliland provides access. Israel's dual approach shows a pragmatic willingness to work with both the powerful and the emerging. It's a sophisticated strategy for a complex world. Israel's moves have been carefully choreographed to build momentum and solidify new alliances. Somaliland's president is set for a historic state visit to Israel, accompanied by a delegation to finalize agreements. Establishing embassies is a top priority, turning recognition into practical cooperation. Israel's diplomatic mission in Hargeisa will oversee aid and deepen ties, while Somaliland's embassy in Israel signals its new status. Israel is urging partners like India to follow suit, arguing that recognizing Somaliland aligns with India's strategic interests in the Indian Ocean. The diplomatic push extends to the US, Gulf states, and Ethiopia, all key players in the region. Ethiopia, needing sea access, is being courted by both Israel and India to support Somaliland. This coordinated effort aims to build a new coalition centered on the Red Sea and Indian Ocean. Israel's recognition of Somaliland has redrawn alliances and sparked opposition. Somalia condemned the move, cutting ties with the UAE in protest, though it has little control over Somaliland. Arab nations like Saudi Arabia and Turkey oppose the recognition, fearing regional fragmentation and loss of influence. China quietly resists, preferring to deal with compliant states like Djibouti and Somalia. The UAE, however, has stayed silent, valuing its economic stake in Berbera and its security ties with Israel. Ethiopia stands to benefit from Somaliland's independence, seeking reliable sea access. The US, with military interests in Berbera, remains cautious but faces growing calls to recognize Somaliland. The world is watching to see if others will follow Israel's lead. Israel's recognition of Somaliland, alongside its alliance with India, marks a bold shift in strategy. By building ties with both a global power and a strategic newcomer, Israel is creating a corridor of influence from the Horn of Africa to Asia. This approach secures trade routes, counters adversaries, and leverages technology partnerships. The risks are real: regional backlash, diplomatic friction, and uncertainty about broader international support. Yet Israel is betting that a stable pro-Western Somaliland will eventually win over other powers, especially the US. The coming months, embassy openings, high-level visits, and reactions from Ethiopia and Washington will determine the strategy's success. Israel has redrawn a critical part of the world map, creating new realities in the Horn of Africa. The question now: who will be next to recognize Somaliland? For expert, fact-based analysis on Somaliland, the Red Sea, and global power shifts, subscribe to Horn Lens. Turn on notifications, because the next geopolitical breakthrough may already be unfolding.